Hey guys, welcome to the Zapata Brand Boxing Podcast. And usually I have fighters that are youthful and young. And look at me, I'm getting ready to get into the ring at 48 years old. My next guest, Mr.G, George Smalley here, wants to etch himself into the record books as the oldest MMA fighter in the world. George, how are you?
Good, George. Thank you.
We'll call you Mr. G. He goes by Mr. G at CaptainProteinCookies.com. You'll see him. You'll see him regularly on After Hours with on RX Muscle. Also, now George, exactly what made you think about getting into the ring or octagon at this point at 66?
Well, I've been training my whole life. I'm surfing, competitive surfer, skateboarder. And then I got into bodybuilding at like 19. So I kept doing all those things, moving along, and then I used to train. I used to run around with remember the hardbanger gloves?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh God.
So when I was training for like an Ironman, when I was training for triathlon, right? I was training for like the Ironman distance. I would run through the trails, with my construction boots, and I had the hardbanger gloves, and I had a tree, and I would just like hit the tree for 20 minutes, blah 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 blah, and that's kind of my first start into like sort of like boxing and stuff like that. And then what happened is, fast forward 3 years ago, this guy, Big Lenny, who had doxed my company, I challenged him to a charity MMA match. And he agreed. So at that time I was living in Toms River. Nick Catone's MMA was right there. Unbeknownst to me, I walk in there, right? My first day, I meet Eddie Alvarez, Frankie Edgar, all these guys. I didn't realize that place is one of the top premier places because they have Nick used to be in the UFC, And actually, the first day I went up to Nick because Nick is retired and he's a coach. And I said, Nick, I got a fight coming up. Can you train me? He looked at me like, well, you got a fight coming up. How old are you? I go, well, I'm 64. He goes, well, let's see. You know how that works. You know what I mean? Because they want to see if you're gonna put the time in, and if you got what it takes. So from that point on, Big Lenny was like 6'4", 345. I started training. I was training 2-3 hours a day. I was doing jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai, and then I had a coach. Then I had a coach training me actually in the cage because they have two big, because fighting on open mat and fighting in a boxing ring is different than actually going into the octagon.
Right.
So I was training there. And then what happened is the guy Big Lenny, he didn't want to fight. He didn't train.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah, he didn't train. We had a press conference. They thought it was like it's like anything else, like how you see someone and you think you have an image of somebody, then you meet them in person, they're completely different.
A little different.
They painted me out as this old, decrepit Alzheimer's person, And then we had the press conference. This is going back a year and a half ago. And I had it at my client's house, and I had these two big cardboard cutout blowouts of each of us. And they came, and it was professional. I'm not going to be, this is how it is. You can have a little bit of pizzazz back and forth, with this. But when it comes to the press conference, you're going to be, it's going to be professional. You know what I mean? Not
right.
Be, So, and at the time I said, listen, at the end of the show, let's do like a little pairing thing, and he didn't even know what I meant. I go, you throw like 4 punches, I'll catch him like this, and then I throw 4 back and forth. Well, this guy couldn't even hold his hands up for like more than 3 seconds. Like this, 1, 2, 3. That was right.
Probably not the smartest thing, but
well, he didn't.
Go ahead.
He soon realized what he thought I was completely different, And then when we actually did the thing at the end, tried to push me, right?
Whoa.
And I put my elbow right into his chest, which is what I was trained to do, right? And he slid back, and then he was like,
yeah, I always tell my fighters to never judge a book by its cover. Even at the weigh-in, you got to take everybody seriously in order to be successful in combat sports. That's a very important issue. First of all, you got to be in shape. You have to be in shape. If you're not training, why are you bothering? And as you get older, it gets harder. But what I want to do is take you back a little bit. And I was first told about you from Greg Valentino. Greg Valentino, a friend of ours, and we were talking. He said, the guy you want to meet is Mr. G. This is one of the toughest dudes I know. Take me back to George Smalley when he was in high school. What were you like previously?
I was just, when I was in high school, I was the smallest kid in high school. And then I played lacrosse. I played football, but I was the smallest guy. So I didn't even mature yet. I was like 5. I didn't even have facial hair, And I although I was the smallest guy, I had the biggest heart,
Mm-hmm.
So I would remember back then you used to be able to cross body block people and stuff.
Yeah, they took that all out. They made it not fun.
I used to do it all the time. Then we had a lacrosse drill, and there's another guy because I was smaller and he was a really good player, and you both go for the ball, and I just ran right over him. You know. And,
so nowadays you can't do that.
No, I had heart, but then the football. I never forget the football coach. This guy was he was a little jerky, And
where for contents, where'd you grow up?
I grew up in Levittown, Long Island.
Oh, okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, I'm from Long Island, so I grew up in Levittown, a blue collar town.
Yep, I know exactly where it's at. So you're talking about your coach, your football coach, before I interrupted.
So football coach. I was 11th grade. I was the smallest guy, Jerry Jewell, I'll never forget him. Big Indian, everyone was afraid of him, And we do this drill where now he has me as I'm the smallest guy, and I'm going against the best guys on the team. It's a drill where I have a lineman in front of me, and I'm supposed to be a linebacker, right? And then they have the center, the quarterback, and Bobby Lydon, who is the fullback, who's like 225, right? 5'10". I'm 150. And this is now as a coach, you'd never do that. I mean, so the drill is I'm supposed to try and tackle him. Of course, the guy ran, I tried everything I did, but it was just he just ran right over me. And that was my
But do you think the coach actually saw something in you and wanted to see if you had what he thought you had in you?
No.
Okay. So you think he was just doing this on purpose?
Sure he was.
Okay.
You would have known, right? You're not going to put so you were in the gym, you have kids who are small, young kids, you're not going to put a 16-year-old kid with like some 22-year-old fight, and just have them just bull right through him.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
He just bull. He knew exactly what he was doing.
All right. Right. So after high school, let's take you forward a little bit. When do you start getting into the bodybuilding?
I was a competitive skateboarder and surfer. So I started at 12. So I've been doing it all along. And I wanted to be a pro surfer. So I moved to Maui. All right.
Oh, geez.
I moved at that town that had the fire in Front Street. I moved there and was living there. And that's when I started training in Hawaii. And really what sparked me is that I had a girlfriend that broke up with me and went out with a football player.
Oof.
So I decided I was going to look like Arnold Schwarzenegger and lift weights.
Well, you always have to choose your enemies wisely. And when I say that, I say it like there's always a spark, whether it's you get laid off at work, a girlfriend breaks up with you, somebody betrays you. But that spark is always needed in someone who's going to be successful. So you took that spark of the girlfriend breaking up with you and boom, successful in the bodybuilding world. What did you do? Where did you think you were going to take that?
Be Mr. Olympia. So I seeked out. So then I moved from Hawaii, came back, and then I seeked out the best trainer. That was Steve Mahalik, who happened to live in Long Island.
Okay.
So I asked him if he could help me, and he took me under his wing.
Okay.
Now
was it bodybuilding, or was it were you doing strictly to compete, or were you just doing the bodybuilding for yourself or for competing?
Competing. So he had me. he had me, and at that time he had Mr. America's gym was open. He had all his own equipment that he actually made. It's famous. So Steve used to be a former Mr. America, Mr. Universe, Mr. USA, 1972.
72.
Right. So he's now 36, and now this is a way for, I guess, for me as a young guy coming up to bring him back into the sport.
Okay.
So I was eating at that time I was eating like 17,000 calories a day.
17,000.
Yeah, you had me bulk up.
How big were you?
I was at that time. I went from 210 to 300 pounds.
Holy cow! Wow.
And I was also from the surfing and stuff. I had strong ligaments and tendons, so I could do like lifts. Like I would do like curls with like 315. Yeah, I would jerk them up, not strict, but I mean, gym lifts. But I was strong in certain lifts.
Okay.
Like
and did you feel that? Did you not feel that was a little too big, or no? You felt
no, it was just he was the top guy. So whatever he told me to do, I would do. In fact, on Sundays I would eat 30,000 calories. My first meal was a dozen buttered rolls.
A dozen buttered rolls.
Yeah, and then
how did your body react to that though? Like when you're doing it, how did your body react?
I felt fine. I mean, I was, obviously he had me on other stuff, vitamins and stuff and supplements and I felt strong as ever as I could ever be, I mean, I felt good.
Now, did you incorporate any of your cardio in that? Meaning, any of
None, zero. So his zero. So his goal, and this is what happened. So his thing was, if you like a baby, eat, sleep, and then crap. That's
okay.
And train, right? So that's it. So because if you do any type of cardio, it's going to impede into your growth. And then I trained for 18 months, and then I went into the Eastern USA.
Okay. Which that was your first competition?
No, I competed in the Long Island. Excuse me. I competed in the Long Island in the Mr. Long Island before I met him, and I took 5th place. Okay.
So then, when you went to the Eastern, was there an improvement?
I went to Eastern. That's when I had him under my belt. Had him training.
Okay. Now I see.
Yeah. I didn't know anything what I was doing,
Okay, so it was all bro science before you met.
I went on a 0 carb diet.
Because see, that's what I would have thought to do. You know what I mean? When you don't really know, you kind of like even cutting weight for me was always put a garbage bag on, don't drink, and that's totally the opposite of how it is now. Now it's a lot different. Do you have to cut weight? Yes, but you do it in the right way. I mean, it's really advanced now.
Yeah, well, and if we talk about fighting, the fighters are now incorporating instead of doing like wrestling style where they just lose weight, all that weight real quick. They're gradually doing it like a bodybuilding, and then trying to be at their weight before actually, the weigh in.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. You have to be comfortable because if I've seen people losing 20 pounds in 3-4 days. That's definitely not healthy. But doing it this way, they're able to do it, and it's hard. It's hard. I'm not gonna say it's easy, but it's easier. I'll put it this way: it's safer. It's safer than the way we used to do it back then. So as you're getting older and going in there, how was your bodybuilding career? How did it progress from let's say your mid-20s on?
All the way to that show, and once after that, I competed in that show, and it's kind of he thought I should have won, and I didn't. And after that, then I quit competitive bodybuilding. I said I don't want to do it.
Was it because of the show, or was it because of just putting your body through that?
No, because I wanted to do. I still like. I wasn't surf. I wanted to surf. I like surfing and I like being athletic.
Okay, so you obviously at 300 pounds it'd be tough to surf.
Well, if I was still doing it, I could be able to do it. It's like it's like a lineman. I mean, like lineman that, training and stuff, you can still move, but I mean, I wanted to get back into the things that I really like doing, and incorporate what I had learned from Steve.
Okay. Did you stay in Long Island or did you move?
Stayed in Long Island the
And
whole
surfed
time.
in Long Island?
Stayed in Long Island. I had my personal training business, Bodies by Mr.G. I had my place I had opened, that was in Massapequa Park on Park Boulevard. And then when I actually, so I was training people to homes, then I opened up my facility back in 2005, where people could come to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I contacted Dave Palumbo.
Okay.
All right. Because somebody had said to me, "Hey, is that you on the wall?" I go, "Yeah." "Oh, I like that." It was and again, it was a female who inspired me, to do it. Right. So I says, okay. So I asked my brother Bobby, who does T-shirts and stuff and all promotional stuff. Bobby, you got Dave's phone number? Now, me and Dave had never met before, and I contacted Dave, and then I had hired Dave to train me. Then me and Dave became training partners. And
okay, was Dave here?
Dave was in Long Island.
Oh, wow.
He was in Seaford.
Oh, okay. That's not too far though from where you were.
No,
yeah, okay.
No, he's in Nassau County, so he was right there.
Yeah, it makes sense. Then you could do that. It makes things a lot easier for you then. So after you've done that, what let's change gears a little bit.
Yeah.
Professionally, what were you starting? I know your business, Captain Protein Cookies, but what did you start doing that kind of got you away from the bodybuilding? You had to fill your time with something.
Oh, I was once I stopped the bodybuilding.
Yes.
I started training for triathlon as a triathlete.
Okay.
It's because I met some people who did Ironman, people who were in the Masters Ironman. Like this one girl, Carrie, who was she was the world champion. Just so happens she lived by me, so I started doing that training.
Okay.
Running. I was training like anywhere from 6 to 8 hours a day.
You, Mr. G, you know what you strike me as? You strike me as a guy who sets a goal and has no limitations on age or ability, because let's say your age now, let's say your ability now, but you always seem successful in putting your mind to something and getting it done. That's just what I'm getting out of this. Do you use any technique that says, this is something, are you military?
I was in the Air Force.
Well, then it makes sense. Because it seems like you have a mindset of a winner, no matter what the age is, no matter what the athletic content is. It seems like you are. Is that why you've continued to compete and even trying to have an MMA fight at 60-some years old?
Well, I want to try new. I mean, I want to change. The way I do it is I tell everyone I'm doing something. Then now I got to do it.
Okay.
But before I say that, I go and read. But I want to, because it's something I always wanted. I always wanted to fight in the cage. All along, just like pro surfer, pro bodybuilding. Did that. Went through the bodybuilding. Okay, did that. Surfing, did that. Skateboarding, did that. Was in Skateboarder Action magazine, and now the fighting. Now I decided I want to do that. It just so happens there's nobody my age really doing it. They can.
I think we can. No, I think we can. I think I have a way around that. I think we can get it done. I'll talk to you about that one, but I think we can. But my question to you would be this: waking up in the morning, and again, I'm not harping on 66. And you go to train. How's your mental state of? Do you ever get up and be like, oh man, this is killing me? Or are you one of these guys who can get up at 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning, put your mind to it and get the work done?
The first thing I do when I get up is I pray and I listen to Reverend Billy Graham.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't drink coffee. And then what I do is I do sit-ups and stuff, and then I take an ice cold shower.
Okay.
Ice cold. I mean, and that's how my day starts. But I mean, I'm pretty much, once I decide I'm going to do something, I'm going to, I'm gonna train. I'm gonna train. If someone's doing this, I'm gonna do more. You know, and I'm gonna see what the best is doing and winning. So then I'm gonna mirror what they're doing.
Right. Would you prefer to do MMA, or would you rather do a different discipline, or you want MMA where you can mix?
I like MMA. See what I discovered. I didn't know what MMA. I had no idea what it actually fighting in the cage. You know, the skill sets you needed to have. Okay. You know, and then once I went to the gym, it was like going back to like bodybuilding when no one had headphones. It was an unbelievable camaraderie. That was unbelievable.
Okay.
Brain, you know, it was no ego. It was brains with everyone was talking, and to me that was that. And not only that, then I saw the benefit for that. Then I saw people who were never going to fight, you know, who were just coming there just to train and get in shape. And I realized, wow, this is a great thing for people just if they're not even going to fight, just to get in shape. It's unbelievable. It's not what they think. People see the cage and see people bloody and this and that, or the boxing, but everything leading up to that, you know, is unbelievably healthy. You know, and fun.
Did you ever feel out of place?
I mean, in the MMA?
In MMA, did you ever feel out of place? Like, you know, people giving you the looks, people saying, you know, you can't compete.
No, what happens is because I'm also 6 foot 230 and muscular. So a lot of guys aren't like, you know, so it makes me bigger muscularly than most of the guys.
Okay.
You know, so sometimes, a lot of times, when we're doing Muay Thai, we'll shift from person to person. So, you know, like we'll do 3 minutes, 4 minutes with this guy, then 4 minutes with this person, you know. Now there's all different heights and size, unless I'm training with the MMA, right. You know. So you match them, you know. So I could be with someone 160 pounds, right? I'm not gonna bull, you know. I match with I match the level. So I go, look, don't worry, you know. But then when sparring happens, sometimes some guys will go, look,
yeah.
You know, no, I know. What?
You know, I do train with a guy who's 65 right now. I train with a big 5, and similar mentality. He is actually a judge, but military guy. So that's what I picked up. You know, there's no reason for someone, even at my age at 48, to want to get hit in the head, other than the fact that we enjoy it. It gives us discipline. It says, hey, if you didn't move your head, you wouldn't have got hit. And it's a different mentality. I think you're cut from a different cloth. That's why I always see someone like yourself, and I have a lot of respect for, because the reality is you can sit there and just sit on the beach and, you know, you're in Florida now, enjoy the weather and what have you, but you're not. You're actually continuing to move forward, even in retirement. And that's important. That's important in this world.
Well, I mean, at first, when I was going to fight the guy Lenny, I was going to raise money for veterans suffering post-traumatic stress. So to get guys back, you know, guys who were suffering from that, to give them a new mission in life, get them back in. And I saw as the boxing and the fighting world was a great camaraderie.
Yeah.
To go in that and be active, give them a new mission, get them better, and then help other vets, and then, you know, boom, boom, boom. So I mean, that's basically why I started. That was another reason why I started it. You know.
So let's go into another field here. Let's go into your cookies, Captain Protein Cookies, where they can get them at CaptainProteinCookies.com. They do have the Momo box there they can get, but let's get me into the cookies. Now, your cookies have helped me, because I am a big Reese's peanut butter guy. I got to get down to 189 in 8 weeks, hovering right at 206 this morning. But instead, and my brother got me hooked onto it. Jersey Jay-Z sent me out some cookies. And it's a great replacement for the sugar laden Reese's that I eat. A great replacement. I use that now exclusively as opposed to Reese's. Tell me about it, how it got started, and where we can get it.
It got started because I've been baking my whole life. So pretty much been baking my whole life. And my partner, that's why I moved to Jersey Shore to develop a healthy snack line. And I was living there for 3.5 years. So I've been baking my whole life. So, but I also want to have something that tastes like a regular cookie.
Right.
So that's basically what I did. I just, from all my years of baking, from when I was 12, my passion,
right.
I started experimenting, and boom. I mean, and that's where the company, Captain Protein Cookies, comes from.
Now, how did you get the right combination of protein, sugar, but to still have it taste, edible? Because it's
I don't like making sugar. I mean, even though Dave had me put sugar free, I don't eat them myself. I want to eat something good.
Okay.
But I also want to have every time I eat, I want to have protein. So if we're gonna have if I could have a cookie that has protein in it, but it's a cookie, then I'll eat it. To me, It's a viable snack. With real butter, real sugar. I use the omega eggs. And I use a isolate protein. Unflavored, put in there.
And how many different flavors do you have right now currently?
Right now we have like four different flavors. We have chocolate chip. We have oatmeal raisin with it's an extreme. It has oatmeal raisin with butterscotch craisins in it. Then we have what else do we have? We have the chocolate chip. We have the oatmeal raisin. We have the chocolate fudge brownie, white brownie. So it's a chocolate fudge cookie. Right, like a brownie cookie with white chocolate chips, and then we have the pistachio cookie, and then we have Rice Krispie treats.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I could do whatever. There's a zillion. I mean, if you told me, hey, make me a Reese's Buttercup cookie.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the next one.
I could do. Like people could have asked me. I could do whatever I want to do. I mean, I have blueberry Pop-Tart cookies that I design. I mean. It runs around. I mean, I could put 100 things on there.
Right, but it keeps it moving. You keeping yourself busy, not only mentally but physically, doing all that stuff there. So, a couple last questions before we wrap up. First things first, where can they get Captain Protein Cookies? Where can they order them?
CaptainProteinCookies.com. Right online. Just order them. Go online. Right now, it's 30% off. We put Momo box. Put it in the promo. That's the promo code, But we say it right on the site, so when people go, anybody who doesn't even know,
they don't even know who a Momo is. They can get the 30% off. But Mr. G, where do you see yourself in 5 years now?
Where I see helping people. From young kids to 99, inspiring them to get up and start doing something and taking care of their health instead of taking medications and stuff like that. Medicate themselves with weight training, cardiovascular, boxing, MMA. And that's why I'm actually documenting on our YouTube channel, Captain Protein's MMA Kitchen. We're documenting the whole training. My whole training process.
Do you see this fight coming off at all?
Yes, So I'm training at American Combat Gym. So American Combat Gym is in Deerfield, and Charles McCarthy, the owner, used to be in the UFC. His last fight was against Michael Bisping, and you have him. He's there. Charlie Rosa, who's in UFC.
Charlie Rosa. I know Tom Rosa very well.
I don't know if his father.
That's his uncle. He's a masters boxer. Yep, he was. Charlie Rosa was just here in Scranton, probably 5 months ago.
Yeah, him and he's in another organization. He just won. Yeah. Because people don't realize UFC, unless you're the top guy, you don't get paid that much.
No, I know. It's promotions are very tough to run. You don't got to tell me. They're, so although it seems like, you go to any of these gyms, you can go from Philadelphia all the way down to Florida. They are killers in there. you don't realize that a normal person who's not training, these, when you're training every day, you're training with people who, you're sparring with them, but it's a fight. That's a fight. I'm sorry, it's a fight. And even when you're grappling, they're trying to really, they're putting it on you a little bit, and you tap out and you're fine. But you got to be in shape.
Well, if you train with the Brazilians,
yeah, it's no joke. It isn't.
They show me, but you want. I mean, it's competitive, But at the end, everyone shakes. At the end, it's a sport. We're being competitive.
It's crazy because my wife doesn't get it. She's like, this guy just punched you in the head, and you guys are friends. I'm like, you don't get it. It's fine. We're good. We're good. We made the contract. You punch me, I punch you. We're at the end of the day, we're good. We're friends. We're good, and we'll do it all over again tomorrow.
He's actually helping you now. I mean, he's helping you get ready prepare for your fight.
Yeah, and even me looking at it, as I'm getting ready to fight April 27th here in Berwick, I go through stages of where I have doubt. Even at my age, I'll get a small nick here, small nick there. Do you ever go through that where you get down on yourself a little bit if you're like, man, I can't do what I used to do. That hurt a little bit more. Do you ever do that? And that's me just asking advice from you.
If that hit comes into me, I just grab myself by the neck and say, "Schmuck, what are you doing?" Nobody goes unscathed. Nothing's going to be perfect. You're going to have this go, this go, that go. But you got to keep going. You got to just keep going forward and keep training. And intelligently too.
Right. And I believe that you are doing it the intelligent way. You have some of the best trainers and the best sparring partners there by you. If you were to guess, when do you think this fight would come off in the next?
Well, let me tell you what Charlie told me. So I actually sent it to Dave.
Mm-hmm.
I sent them of me walking in, but obviously he didn't show it. So, they portray. Instead, I got portrayed as some. Who's the guy who challenged Strickland? One of those
Sneeko.
Yeah, that's what they showed. As if I'm some idiot that's just going to go in and challenge a UFC guy. That's far from the truth. I walked in. We filmed it. Walked in. Asked talked to Charlie. Hey, Charlie, do you think you can get me? I'd like to have a fight. Do you think you can get me ready? Now, first of all, he's going to either say yes or no. You can't. I'm not. No reputable gym is going to train someone for a fight if they can't fight. You may never be able to go in, right? So he told me 4 months.
4 months from when you first walked in, or 4 months from
ago.
Okay.
From a week ago. Right. So from a week ago. So now so what it is, what I'm going to be fighting in a regular amateur first time match. So what that means, I don't know if this rule's the same here. In Jersey, you have 2 2-minute rounds in the cage. Yep. And you have to wear the shin guards.
Yep.
Right. That's how it works. After those 2, then after that, then you take the shin guards off and then you go forward. My goal is just to go in and just, the bucklers have one regular fight, and then lay it down. Now one of the chances of me meeting, because a lot of guys who are because there's a lot of wrestlers at my place that wrestle in college and stuff, that actually, and some who after wrestling, there's nothing for them to do in their sport. So a lot of wrestlers, go into MMA.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be, I'll be working. So we don't know who I'm going to meet, who it will be, but they'll match us up with equal, pretty equal. They don't want to match up with someone who's, at this level, that level.
No, not at all. As a matter of fact, talk about Tom Rosa. Tom Rosa was just in the Masters national championship this past couple of weeks ago. He just won. But he got stopped. He got stopped by a guy who, again, was 10 years younger than him, and probably not a good matchup there for him. But Tom Rosa is a tough guy. I mean, he's nationally ranked Masters division. So that guy, I'm sure, is on his way up. I could tell you that.
Well, So Charlie's younger brother, Lucas, is better, is 3 times better than Charlie.
Oh, really?
He's unbelievable. He's one of those quiet guys that just
those are dangerous. Yeah, you know those are dangerous ones. Oh yeah.
You know what's up, right?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
He's got a degree. He's got a degree in English, PhD. So he's he's a brain with a fist.
Jeez. Well, you're definitely in the right area. I mean, most of the time.
So he's there. You know, so he's there. So let me tell you the guys who Devin Maltaire, who's 6'7", who trains a lot of the UFC guys in the ground game. He's there as a grappling guy. I call him the Mantis. He's got these big dreadlocks and he's got these long limbs, right? And now, so we got all these guys there, and we got a whole Brazilian team, and they go hard.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
They do go hard.
They're competitive.
Who's your striking coach now? There,
the striking coach we got. We got Matthew Waggy, who trains with Holloway. He's the MMA coach and strike coach. We got this guy. His name is Scrappy. He's 12-0 as a pro. In fact, he was supposed to when they had the Sean O'Malley fight up in Boston, right? This is going back, I think, 12 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, they called him up because one of the people on the card couldn't make it. You know.
Oh shit.
So, but he didn't want to because it was too soon.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so supposedly he's supposed to get another shot. You know, now that works. If you're not, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you should. If they call you up, fuck the hell. I say the hell with it. Go.
Yeah. No. I mean, you got a chance. I mean, if you can get into UFC.
No. So he's one. So he's really really good too. You know, he's really good. So you got this whole group of guys that I'm around that are the top in the field. You know, so I'm seeing what they're doing, and they're helping me, and I know what I got to do. You know, I gotta be able to stand up and fight for 30 minutes straight. That's my goal.
Well, iron sharpens iron, that's for sure. And Mr. G, as you get closer to this fight, you say 4 months. We're going to be following your journey there on YouTube at Captain Protein Kitchen, MMA Kitchen, on YouTube, and also CaptainProteinCookies.com. Where can I get you on social media? Do you have any Facebook or Twitter or Instagram?
No, basically the Instagram is the same thing.
Okay.
But basically putting all the content, we're trying to build up our YouTube channel. I'm putting all the stuff up there because I also put some recipes. I'm going to do a UFC 299 pizza this week, taco pizza.
Interesting. And that's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, so, I want to show healthy things to eat, but also good things too, you know?
Yeah, hey, a little bit of everything is always good. A little bit of everything in your diet is always pretty good, as for what I've known. But go to your YouTube channel, Captain Protein MMA Kitchen. That's on YouTube. Like and subscribe to his channel. If you can, go to CaptainProtein.com. 30% off if you do Momo Box in the coupon code. Let's follow Mr. G as he goes on his journey here to step into the MMA cage, hopefully within the next couple months. I want to follow your progress too, Mr. G. Please, if you can, come on as frequently as you can. I know it's hard that we can. We're trying to meet up here, but if you can, please get on our bandwagon here. We'd like to watch you get into that octagon and finish off what you have on your bucket list there.
Well, George, thank you very much. I appreciate you having me coming on. And I want to say to all your listeners, Captain Protein says, say your prayers, take your vitamins, eat your Captain Protein, and you too could be a superhero in your own life.
Mr. G, it was an honor. Thank you for coming on the podcast.
Thank you, George.
Thanks for watching the Zapata Brand Podcast. Please subscribe to the podcast and listen where all podcasts are available.